G'day guys, my name's Josh. You can call me JaWoodle, and welcome back to 7 Days to Die in Alpha 18, where I am back to hopefully fix some of my previous mistakes. I have come back to JaWoodle Park 2 to have another final crack at the Demolisher Proof Base. This is the next day from when I filmed the one that, well, we would have seen by now, I suppose. So it's now the next day, and overnight I was thinking about it, because all I think about is 7 days these days, and I was thinking to myself that I probably could have made something that would have killed the Demolishers if I just kept pushing the design. If I kept on going and kept like tinkering with things, I would have got there and again. So I've come back today to continue to tinker and see if we can actually achieve a base that will kill the Demolisher for us, but leave, importantly, all the other zombies aside. We just want to kill Demolishers, or any of the big zombies will do, but leave the majority of the horde for us to pick off to gain experience from, but also because you don't want to waste all your good, like, high impact traps and stuff like that on just regular mups. You want to save them for Demolishers. So before I head out into the park and start building and start tinkering, I need to head down into the Hall of Legends, into this wing for the very last time. Today is a very special day because the Hall of Legends is now full. We have filled up all the way to the end, every name on every board. There is more than 100 people in here, and that is mind-blowing to me. So today, we welcome into the final time to this wing, EKCDD, M.X, and Robert T. Jr. So thank you, you three, and everybody else in the hall for all of your wonderful support, which means that now that hall is now done. Let's go like this. Let's quickly just turn off the lights, even though it turns off all the lights in the MVP tower as well. Now I actually need to pull my finger out and go and finish this wing over here. I need to finish the renovations, put some more signs up, because more people are joining. They need their space, so I need to finish building out here. But before I can do that, or do anything else, I need to find a spot out in the park somewhere, try and build another Demolisher base, see if we can make one that actually works as I want it to this time. The main thing that kept me up at night about this, the main thing I think that I missed out on, was that the blade traps can hit the Demolishers, so their hitbox is clearly in this area, but I couldn't get the tripwires to work. But I think that was just down to how I orientated it. If I can get the tripwires up to the same point of where the hitboxes is to the blade traps, we know that the zombies or the Demolishers penetrate that space. They go into that area and the game registers them as being there. So tripwires should work if we just get them placed in the right way. So that's kind of why I'm here today, to see if just a little bit of tinkering on tripwires can get that to work for us. Now the other thing is as well, I built this relatively small. I mean, it's just a killing corridor in design, but if I make this bigger and just try to put down more damage onto the Demolishers than what I do now, I'm hoping that maybe I can get it to work. Or maybe just a little bit more distance and some more traps. I don't know. We'll give that a crack. We're going to try and get all these ideas that we've experimented with in the park. This is like the ultimate challenge, I think. If I can make a base that kills the Demolisher, I feel like all of the testing in the park has been worth it. So just over here, I'm going to build something again. We're going to go with another bridge design, because if you raise them up off the ground, then all of their pathing is the same. If you keep it on the ground, they can come in from any which way. So we're trying to get in the one spot reliably all the time, so that we can send whatever we need to at them without having to worry about them taking a different course of action. I'm going to make this a slide base. We've learned our lessons from previous days where sometimes the zombies get down here and go into destroy everything mode. So to stop them doing that, we're both giving them a super fun happy slide and also a nice little haystack to land on down the bottom there. So if they do manage to clear this slide, they'll still land on the bottom and they won't go into destroy everything mode. Look, it even slides nice and nicely just for me. Alright, so that's there. Now this is going to be a bit of a different kind of mechanism to what I've built previously. I've built 2s and 3s. This one's going to be a 4 because I'm going to start this by inverting how I do the blade trap. So rather than being on the ceiling coming down, which did kind of work, but it also had the chance of like kind of popping them up so the Demolishers popping up and getting their buttons pressed. I'm going to see if it works a bit better if I make it 4 wide, but with only a 2 wide corridor in the middle. So the zombies have to come that way, but I'll have blade traps up on their sides like that, spinning that way, so that hopefully zombies still get clocked in the head, but with less risk of hitting their buttons. They hit the button, the whole base gets destroyed, and that makes for a very unhappy Joshy boy. So already you can tell that it's a bit longer than the other things that I've built. Both the drop over here is longer and the span is longer. Still only 2 spans, but that's not too big of a deal. Now this is big enough to fit 4 blade traps up the top here. But if I quickly get some blade traps like this, I'll quickly just show you, because I want to make sure that I'm getting as much damage down as possible. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, with a little bit of room for them to get up there and get stable before I start punching them in the face with sharpness and death. So that's going to be big enough to fit all of those. Now, it's going to be 2 blade traps per position all the way along, which means I need to build a wall going up to the top. Let's grab my blocks back. But let's get another kind of stack of them, just like that. Refill my stack and go all the way along like this. We're just going to funnel all the zombies down into one place and then try and slice their heads apart. My goal here is to get as much damage as possible down, like as much DPS, much damage per second, but also slowing down the zombies where I can to try and get them to spend longer within the blade's reach. So all that's going to come together all in one. In fact, I've already forgotten that I have to make it a half block. So maybe, you know what, I might even incorporate the water into this as well. It was a pretty good idea before. The water seemed to work pretty well. Plus, I have to go to the half block to get the demolishers to pop their heads up enough for the blades to hit them. What are you doing over here? I didn't invite you. Go away. So if I go up and then down onto a half block, I can put the water down the bottom here and have the blades up the top. And it should, fingers crossed, work how it does in my head. Bang all the blade traps up on the wall like that. Now that should be the same spacing as what it was on there, but we had the successful test of getting the blade traps to hit the zombies, but not the other zombies. What's that? It's wedge, 1 blade. Let's check it over here. Now, oh, that's going to be interesting. Depending on what the hitboxes are like on that, I mean, the blades stick a little bit further down there, I think, than they do over here. We might have to give this a quick little test of Rooney just to make sure it still works how we want. But that is half 1 blade. So it's still the same kind of layout as what it was before. But we need to just double check it is going to work how we want it to. So let's go over here. Let's bang in, just get this guy testing. Now we know that the snow zombies are the same height as the demolishers. So we'll get one of those. And we'll also get ourselves just a regular Chelsea. Get a couple of those actually. Fire the gun a couple of times. Is that going to get their attention? Yeah. Oh, yep. There we go. Okay. So, oh wait. Before you do that, before you guys run into the port corridor of death, I need to turn on the blade traps to see what's actually happening. Having them all sitting still doesn't tell me dick. Alright, that is looking much, much better. The blades are all spinning and they're all going in like counter directions as well, which is kind of fun. Alright, get their attention, to get them to come towards me. Alright, here we go. What are you going to do this time? How are you going to manage this? Up onto the stairs, please. Don't punch stuff. Thank you for not destroying my base. Alright, Chelsea's going straight through. Oh, there we go. But only sometimes. Oh, okay. So not as hitting as reliably as I would like. Maybe having the flat propellers is going to be better than the vertical ones. Because it seems to only be when he kind of swivels back and forth. He can serpentine through the blades. The Chelseas are getting through no whackers at all with their big old knackers. You're now breaking stuff. That's no fun. Stop breaking my base, please. But the zombies are waddling their way through and not having anything done to them. Alright, so first idea out the window. Vertical blades, no bueno. We need to put them horizontally, which means I need to rebuild this to be 3 wide again, which is kind of sucks, but that's okay. Thank you for testing that for me. Information is still a success if we get it come out the other side knowing what we didn't before. It's just kind of frustrating. I thought that was going to work. So we're back to basically where we were with that one, but just with more distance and more blades. There was only 3 over there, but there's 4 here. So that should do a fair bit of damage each. Let's just quickly just double check that these actually going to work for us. Old mate of potato, if you wouldn't mind just running the corridor. In fact, once again, I've forgotten the power. I always forget the power. I have all the batteries on me. I just haven't wired it up. You'd think after building this so many times, I would know that I have to do that at some point. Let's just put you there. Why not? Put some batteries in as well, all along there. And grab my wire tool. God, it's just paying attention to more than one thing at a time is a real weakness of mine. In fact, let's just get the one going. Doesn't even matter. Just as long as one of them's there and running, we should be able to tell whether or not it's going to hit him. And boom. Yes, right in the grills. Comes around and slots him right in the front of the head. That's good. That's good. A test exactly what I needed to know. Thank you, Yeti Zombie, for being one and only team. There we go. Good. All right. So we have that build going nicely for us. Now, I've built some solid walls now, so I can actually just bang some water straight into this. I don't have to go down at all. I could go down and like kind of rebuild some of it if I really wanted to, but this should work just fine as it is. There will be some overflow, but that'll be all right. So if we slow the zombies down, if we do as much damage as we possibly can, I'm also thinking if I add some electrical fences into there and maybe some dart traps, like really just throw everything in this. Given it's a demolisher, it's like an end game zombie, you should have all this stuff anyway. I'm not trying to build on a budget here, just build something that could be reasonably done in well, at any real given time, I suppose, once you're into the late game stage. So dart traps, electric fences, blade traps, everything combined should be able to kill a zombie or a zombie demolisher before it gets all the way down. Regular zombies are fine, as the demolishers I'm after here. Got lots of water flowing everywhere, but that's okay. I've banged the water in. Now it's really important to mention how the water works. In case you weren't aware, like I've done water bases a lot in the past, but you need it to be more than 1 block of water to slow them down. If you have 1 block of water, the water kind of settles down to about ankle deep, which doesn't doesn't do anything for anyone. But if you have the half blocks on the base, this is why we need the half blocks. If you put half blocks on the base, it means there's actually a full block of water there between the floor and with the kind of the surface of the water. So in the game's mind, that means it's all the water ever, and it slows down whatever is running around it, including people and zombies. So if you're running around like this, you know, you can go through the little water like that without really slowing down at all, no worries. But you come up here, if I get rid of that big block in my face, come up here to the normal water, you can see I'm running so much slower than I was before. Now, it would be nice if I didn't have to do the half block trick, because then I could put some invisible barbed wire or something underneath as well, but that is no bueno, because we need that half block trick. Let's use the hay bale to get rid of all the excess water around here. Don't want any extra leakage in the desert. Don't want to waste your fresh water. Don't want to be washing your socks when you're on water rations. Go like that and just get all of this. Good, good, good. Okay, we're just about ready to go, I think. Yeah, what else can we put in here? So dart traps. How are we actually going to get this all running? That's what I want to know, though. I think it's about time that we gave another try to the tripwires. Tripwires, grab some of those. Now, last time I had these, and I put them on the wall out like that, which made the wire just a little bit too tall for where the demolishers were coming through. I'll quickly show what I mean. If I go like this one, wire that's this one over here, you can see that the wire is a bit higher than where the blades actually are. So we need to get it just like, what, 6 inches or maybe 2 inches down to be where the blades are, to actually interact with the demolishers as they're running through. So let's just try some different orientations of these things and see if we can come up with a better solution. Oh, that's perfect! Look, it turns out the simple, normal orientation, like that's just the normal way up. If you had a regular block next door to it and you had these here, that's the way it would normally sit. So I was putting it on the wall as opposed to putting it, well, if it goes simple, it'll put it against the wall like that. But instead of putting it like that, you put it into a normal block like that, and it puts the wire right where the blades are. Alright, well, crisis averted then. The first thing I tried was the correct thing to try. Let's get rid of all of these and make it look a bit more aesthetic. We can't have just, like, wooden forks sticking out of a wall that aren't actually attached to anything. In fact, how far off the wall do you actually sit? Can I get, for example, maybe some wedge tips like that? Are you going to work? If I go like this and go on face, can I, or, I mean, you're not really attached. You're a couple mil off. That's okay. Or maybe we'll just put like a regular block there and just be done with it. Let's just give this a test with an honest to goodness demolisher this time, or zombie demolition. And then I call, oh shit, that was the wrong place to put you. Get away from me, please. I call it a demolisher. It's literally called a demolition zombie, but whatever. Oh, can you please move a little bit faster? I can hear some other zombies cruising around in the reeds out there somewhere as well. They're sneak attacking. Where are you? Hiding? Yeah, there you are, hiding in the bushes. I saw you, Arlene. Alright, so, just like last time, we're testing it with the lights. The demolisher will come up. If it hits the tripwire, the light should turn on. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 tripwires. Don't hit my base, please, you bloody sausage. There we go. 1 works. 2 works. 3 works, and 4 should work as well. Well, there you go. I guess we have our answer then. You can run the tripwires and actually hit the demolishers. You just gotta get the hitbox right. Putting them on different angles doesn't work for you. You're just gonna get it the default way, get it stuck there nice and easy, and the demolisher will hit his noggin on each and every one. That is very, very good news for my prospects of getting this to work. This is one of the main ideas I thought of last night as well. I'm glad it did actually pan out how I wanted it to. So I'm not entirely sure how long I need the power duration. I'm just going to go 5 seconds on each of these, assuming that's probably enough time for old mate Demo Boy to get in the water, trigger the tripwire, although he's only triggering it when he's halfway through the blade. I need him to trigger it. Oh, okay. I need to move all the tripwires up to be at the very first entry point. In fact, I might even have to like extend this a little bit so there's a little bit more time in the wet corridor before he actually makes it to the blade, so I can get that spinning before anything else happens. Because all the other ones don't really matter so much because it'll already be going. In fact, maybe I should just like, oh, can I connect all of them? That's the thing. Or maybe I'll just like connect one to the whole lot and just have enough time for the whole thing to stay spinning the whole time. That might be a better option, because then, I mean, otherwise it's just going to be a little bit of a shambles going all the way down. I've got all these running for no reason where I want all of them to be going all at once. All right, let's make you go 10 seconds. That'll hopefully be enough. All right, let's jump back over here, get ourselves another Demo Boy to come help us out. Let's also go to nighttime to get him moving a little bit faster. All right, there we go. Oh, no, that was turning AI off. All right, here's now moving quick. This is going to be an interesting test. Everything in there, I've got no lights going on, so we can barely see anything. Everything in there should work as we hope. Yep, okay, it's all turned on. What are you going to come out the other side? Down to 7. Oh, wait, there's another zombie coming in as well. So his come out of there was 720. I think last time we cut it was roughly 100 per damage per blade trap. So he's really not getting as fucked up as normal. The important thing in there as well, thank God Joe showed up and tested this for me, is that Joey boy, not that we can really see, isn't getting damaged in there at all. I need a flashlight, not a regular torch. Flashlight, grab one of these. The first time ever a flashlight has actually been useful. So he's in there, he's beating on shit. I don't know why he's doing that for. Oi, Knackett, stop it. Can I turn my flashlight on, please? Why can't I turn my flashlight on? What's going on? Alright, that's really weird. In third person, it shows that my flashlight's on, but when I go to first person, it's not on anymore. Okay, that's right. At least we can use this to see. So yeah, Joey boy's running through, not having any issues with that at all, but the Demolisher is setting off all those blades. One more trip down the lane, and he should die. Now, I mean, you could just leave it like this. That will be fine. You know, eventually the Demolisher will die. That's the great thing about the corridors, is you have a repetitive cycle. Things, if it doesn't work the first time, it will usually work the second time. What I didn't see there, though, is if those blade traps stay spinning long enough for the Demolisher to get all the way down. Like, if it turned off before he made it out the end of the corridor. I really want to figure out why my torch isn't working, though. It's really annoying. Alright, here we go. Let's test this again. I've got a helmet light on now, which is kind of useful and can actually see things. So is that still spinning when it gets through? Yes, it is. It's still spinning all the way until it goes down the slide, actually. So that's actually a pretty good measure. I mean, for daytime as well. Why did you beat? I need to like make that actually like a tombstone or something. I need to get some like slopey edges on that to stop them hitting on that, I think, which would probably be a pretty good idea. But the important thing there is that they're staying all spinning while he's cruising through the corridor. So no real worries there at all. I'll make some modifications. Then we can start thinking about dart traps. Let's just increase how much damage we're doing at any given time. Although in fact, if I'm adding electric fences, I need to extend that time again as well. I've gone through and I've destroyed all the excess tripwires and also all the extra bouncing points on the outside, but I've also done something which I see a lot of people not doing when they send me screenshots and stuff like that. If you're wiring electrical circuits, you need to think about what happens if something goes wrong. Now, if you're daisy chaining a bunch of stuff together, you need to remember, so for example here, if I wired this blade trap into this one, into that one, as soon as that first blade trap, which is the one in the firing line the most, as soon as that one gets destroyed, all the other ones lose their power. So you need to think about how you're going to power stuff if you lose your first option. So what I normally do is I normally get some electric relays and put them, I mean, I've just done it like this just to kind of demonstrate what's going on, but you can hide these in walls or behind something strong or whatever. Hide your wiring where it's not going to get damaged and run everything individually. So now I can lose all three of those first blade traps and the fourth one will still be spinning happy as Larry. So you don't need to worry about that if you wire it all up correctly. Sure, it's easier just to daisy chain them, but it's much more of a risk than what I would be willing to do. Let's put this one back to, well, I said 10 seconds with the water was probably still a bit excessive. Let's go like 15 seconds. Yeah, that's about double what I think I'm going to need. Let's also get I need another battery pack to kind of broke my last one. Grab this one. Like that. I did the wired saw. Don't know why I swapped that one out. Let's get you running just out here. Doesn't really matter where these ones go. I mean, they're not going to get in the firing line of a cop at all because cops only vomit at you if they see you. I see that comment a lot. People asking me, you know, what about cops? What about this? What about that? Cops will only vomit at you when they see you. And spiders will only jump at you when they see you. And all that kind of stuff. And demolishers don't self-explode. There's a lot of things, a lot of misconceptions about some of the zombies that make them much scarier than they actually are. Basically, they all work the same way, just the very last part of a zombie is different, like either explode or vomit or jump or whatever. So, now that that is all wired up like that, did I even turn you on? I don't think I did. I did, but I didn't wire you up. You go to there. That should be pretty good to go for us to lay down some electric fence. Now, what I want to do here is get it at the same level. So, about halfway up, in fact, where the wire is there. In fact, if I just bang you like that, that's going to be absolutely perfect. How much do I actually need in here? Let's go one for each of the blade traps. So 2, 1 there, and 1 there. That should be good. Same on the other side. So if I have the dart traps, the electric fence, and the blade traps all going at once, surely I can kill a demolisher. If maybe not on the first one, but at least on the second one. I think we're pretty good to go. Let's get... Oh, that was the wrong button. Well, it wasn't the wrong button. It was just the wrong point to spawn him into. Let's get one other demo out there. Let's turn it back to nighttime. All right, get his attention. Come on, Knackers. Go. No, wait, where are you going? That's the wrong way. So I've also put some slopey goodness, some zombie-proof kind of footings on the base of that wall there as well. All right, here we go. Runs in. I didn't wire up the electric fence. Oh, Josh, you're Muppet. All right, look, thank you for testing that for me. Thank you for showing me how much of a Muppet I am. What'd you give me? Nothing good. Idiot, Josh. You had one job after all that faffing about. You didn't even wire up your goddamn fences. So same thing again with the electric fences that I did with the blade traps. I have them wired individually from their little harnesses here. Now these are all individually wired together. You can wire them separately if you want to. I don't think it's really necessary in this instance. But with electric fences, when they electrocute zombies, it does damage to the first electric fence in that chain. So now by separating them all, if I lose the first connection, I'm still going to have 3 more electric fences down the road to still electrify old matey potato down there. Alright, so now that I have actually wired it all, please prove to me that this is actually going to work. It's looking very messy in there. I don't quite like it. It's like a big bundle of power lines that you see over in Thailand, where OHS probably isn't as good as what it could be. But so far, it's doing a good amount of damage. It's getting electrocuted, it's getting punched in the face. Already down below 700, down below 500. He may die on the first pass through. He's only through the second one. Into the third, he's pretty close to dying. The blade trap's not hitting much anymore. Come on, get that last. Oh, the blade traps are turned off. Okay, if I extend, I'm not going to finish that test. If like, I want to see it for the first time when it works properly. If I extend the range on this first tripwire here, which is a bit of an issue. No, not that one. Is it this one over here? Do I have to be? There we go. Tripwire fence. Let's just go a minute. You know, let's just like make it real redundant, just in case. Let's get it too precise, just in case there's a couple of them cruising through. Oh, that's AI off. All right, here we go. You should hopefully die on the first pass through. We may actually have this working to the point where we don't need to send him around on multiple endeavors. He can just die the first time he comes through. What's that? So after the first one, he gets down to like 700. Keep on going, come on, buddy. Keep on copping it right in the chin like the champion you are. Oh, 250. Come on, keep going. You're halfway through. The blades are still spinning. The electric fences, yeah, but still going. Look at that. And he's going to die. He died when, how far did he make it down before it was all over Red Rover for him? He made it halfway down the corridor. That's a pretty ringing endorsement. I don't even need the dart traps. I'm going to put them in anyway because why not? Let's go. Let's put our nipples all up against the glass and spin them around with some tassels on them. Let's get this as bee's knees as you possibly can. But that worked surprisingly well. I wasn't expecting to do that much damage that quickly. It's absolutely rinsed a demo zombie. So last time I had the problem with the dart traps that it just felt too claustrophobic having them over the top of my head. So to keep myself nice and aerated and feel like I've got some luxury of space down here, I've built them into a little wall behind me. Now I don't want to trigger these to the same things as the tripwire because it's going to fire for a full minute. Like if I had it more precise on the time about how long a demolisher would spend inside there, then I probably could wire it up to all that and that would be fine. But I mean, it's not too hard. For example, if you just get a pressure plate, can you get a 3x3 one? No, you can't. I don't want to go a 5. Let's just get the basic 1 then. That would be fine. And we're just going to put a pressure plate down on the bottom just like that. We're going to get this wire tool and we'll actually wire you to the other side to kind of hide the wire a little bit. I know there's some wireless, in fact I've used wireless power things mods before, but I just prefer to keep it vanilla so that I know where the wires are and it doesn't like wig out the game too much. Every time I've tried to use wireless power, I feel like it's caused more issues than I've saved. Get you wired as well. So if I see a demo coming in, then I can just step back onto that plate and start firing some darts down. I mean, there's no darts in there right now, but I can manually control when the darts go down. For example, if there's like a cop or something down there, but a cop might be a little bit helpful, maybe I'll tinker with some of the time a little bit, but like if I want to use the darts, then I'll use the darts. So that is what kind of my preferred option to it. But now that I'm thinking about it, I think it'd be kind of fun if we really tinkered this down, really like ratcheted it down into knowing exactly how long I need to have those things running before the demolisher or whatever is dead. Although he dies before he makes it all the way through, so running a speed test won't really help me. I think just running it manually will be the best bet. You know, I feel like that's probably the best way to do it. We'll keep running this power all the way down to there as well. Go from there to like that one there. I know it looks a bit ugly, but it's easier than running another set of batteries. You to you and then you to you and get this all wired up nice and hunky-dory. Boom. And just like that, we have a dart system attached to our electric fence system, attached to everything else in our system. Got my dart traps done. We're connected to a pressure plate. Got everything surrounding me all nice and secure as well. I think we're about ready to give this another red hot crack. This time, oh, that was the wrong button. Let's just give myself a bit of a challenge. Let's get a couple of demolishers out there, really causing me some issues. Let's go 4 of them. That seems like a pretty good idea. Turn their AI on, turn it back to midnight so they move a bit faster. All right, knackers, let's turn your stats off so it's a surprise when you die. Come to me, baby. Come on. In fact, let's let's just go all out. Let's go all the way till day 8. Let's go to, I think that's a horde night. Yes, it's gonna be. Let's send a horde at me as well as the demolishers and see how well it's actually gonna go. I think the demolishers just died, so let's throw another couple just out there as well. Alright, everybody come and find me. Everyone come to the corridor. Everyone come and take a little dip into the pool of get fucked and get electrocuted, shot in the face, and bladed up. Let's turn it on as well. Everything is going lovely. Look at it. look at that absolute mincemeat that's getting brought. Oh, I did hear it at the very, very end. What happened there? Who pressed the button? Who did what? Although, surprisingly, no a little bit of damage on the floor, but no actual damage. It must have been the other zombies that did it. I'm not really sure how you can really stop that. I mean, other than just killing the zombie before he explodes, that's about as good as you're gonna get. Now, admittedly, this is all made out of stainless steel exactly for that reason. So if something went really wrong and something exploded, I wouldn't lose the whole base. Thank God I did that at the start. But, interesting. Okay, so what was the blade trap or a zombie that pressed his button? Maybe it was the other demolishers. Now, they very rarely come in big groups like that, so maybe that's me being a muppet and ruining that. Maybe I'll spread them out a little bit more. Still keep running the horde, but see if it works a little bit better without them all grouped up on top of each other. Looking pretty good. Just regular zombies coming through, all nice and slow. Oh, and there's the demolisher. So you see him go, huh? Jump on your plate, start shooting some rounds down range, and see if you can kill him before he does any extra damage. Now, the nice thing there that I didn't think about, but I just realized, because he's so fat and slow, he spent way too long waiting in the Macca's drive-thru for his 14 patty Big Mac. He moves so slowly, in fact, now he's dead, that he actually becomes a roadblock for the other zombies. So he pushes them out of the way, so the rest of the zombies run around him because they're faster than he is, and so you can kill him easy. You can focus on him, you get a clear line of sight at Zombaroony Explodey Boy more than any other zombies. That's actually pretty good, but he's now dead. Let's get ourselves another one. Oh no, there's another demolisher. Let's jump off the dart. Oh, don't jump into the dart traps, Josh. That's a really rookie error over there. Look at that. He shows up. You step on the dart trap again. Happy days. Happy freaking days. Easy as that. You can't go wrong when you're firing rounds down into his stupid face without pressing his button. I'm so glad I came. I'm so glad I was thinking about this in the middle of the night and I've come back to test it out, because sure enough, it works a bloody treat. Except that now everything is now turned off. Why did you all turn off? That's okay. I'll wait for him to come back around. He'll die again. How much health does he actually have, you reckon? About half health. Why did they turn off? That's oh, look, the blade, because the blade traps got destroyed in the last go around. The last guy blew up and broke all my blade traps. That makes a lot more sense. All the dart traps are back. All the zombies are passing underneath. They're on because I went through the wire. But even if they are on like that, it's not actually costing me anything to have them running. You could just run them all night if you wanted to. But I like having the tripwire there to just turn it on when we actually need it. He goes through to the next one. He's getting absolutely rinsed. Let's put in another one just for good measure, because why not? I'm curious to see what happens if another one comes in behind him. Because especially when I was doing like day 700 and 7,000 even, there were lots of demolishers all at the same time. You just need to make sure that it doesn't get too cramped in there. Oh, no. Ah, damn it! I didn't get him in time. As long as I must have hit him, all the blade traps hit him. So blade traps are risky. I'm not sure if it were me. I'm not sure I would rely purely on the blade traps, just because sometimes it does hit the button, which is never good. There is one other thing I wanted to try. This episode is already pretty long, but let's just kind of turn everyone off. Let's just kill the whole... No, that was the wrong one. Kill all the horde. Okay, now we've got some empty space. What I want to do is maybe instead of using... Okay, oh, that must have been a vulture or something. It was very confusing. Instead of using the blade traps, what about if we just got some SMGs, racked them behind this, and made it so they could only shoot the back of the demolishers? I used it in day 7,000 to much avail, didn't set off the demolishers. So maybe the blade traps are too much of a liability, and we should use the, use the SMG turrets instead. So what I've done is I'm still using the same system as was before. I've got the tripwire at demolisher head height with electric fences and water to slow them down. So we've got the dart traps down the very end down there, because we tested it in the last episode. We know that dart traps don't set off the button, at least I couldn't get them to when I deliberately tried. See, given that the blade trap was doing it so often, I feel like that's now too much reliability for this. So instead, I have some SMG turrets at the back here, firing at the back of a demolisher zombie, which is the important part. The button's on the front, right on the titty there. You don't want to shoot his titty. So if I shoot him in the back of the noggin, we should be okay. But they're all wired up to the same thing here. They're wired up to the tripwire here. So they only get turned on when someone hits that tripwire, which only can be done by big bad bastards cruising through the corridor. So I think that's going to be the best way to do it. I hope it is anyway. God, the walls are all sorts of messed up. Good reason to have all your stuff on the other side of a solid wall if you want to stay alive in this situation. Let's get that rocking and rolling and see. In fact, you know, before I do anything there, do I have any lights in here? I had some lights before, I think. No, I don't. Let's give myself some lights. Let's light it up. I want to see everything kind of sprinkle on like it's Christmas time at the top of a tree. I want to see everything go nuts when a demolisher cruises in. I'm going to put all these down here so that when the lights turn on, I know a demolisher is in the vicinity. There we go. That should do it. The thing I like about this, though, is it looks cleaner than it did with all those blade traps. The blade traps were super messy with all the wires, electric fences, everything going nuts down there. There we go. Everything turns on. He starts getting nailed by bullets. That is good. Didn't even make it to the first electric fence. Who is up again? Now, is that actually doing damage to him? It is. Oh, God, that's way too much information for me to see what's actually happening. He looks like he just died. He did die when he made it to the end of it, but the electric... Oh, I see you, buddy. I see you. No, go away. Go away. Not dealing with Turkish today. Not going to happen. But yeah, this is looking pretty good. I actually kind of like this. Get another demolisher out there so you can see how long those turrets are powered for by how long the lights are staying on. So it's probably a bit overkill going for a full minute. And the guns are targeting regular zombies. They're not getting protected by those SCTR blocks at all. I wish I could say just shoot the demolishers. That's all I want you to shoot. Ignore the zombies. Just target him. But I don't have the option for that. Uh-oh. No. Oh, that was close. He turned around and the turret shot him. That was real close, but they killed him before he managed to explode. GG turret. Still a liability. Still dangerous. I'd still recommend just having the electric fences, just like the passive stuff. In fact, I wasn't using the dart traps at the back here. I'd still recommend using the stuff that we know doesn't cause any issues. So like the water, electric fences, and dart traps are the way to go. But if you're going to have the turrets, if you want some extra, want to take that risk, then by all means, get it done. You can also just make extra sure of a forest and darts down there as well. Are you going to die? Please die before anything bad happens. He went ragdolled. Oh, and when he gets ragdolled, I get nervous because he kind of turns. Yeah, see, he turns that little bit. Oh, shit. Okay, and now he spotted down the bottom there. All my hate is gone. Oh, interesting. So you still have that risk. You still have that risk like versus reward kind of thing. In fact, ragdolling him is almost the worst thing. You'd rather have the blade traps not ragdolling because as soon as he goes down, he turns that little bit and he gets shot in the nipple. Oh, interesting. Okay, I think we've got it sorted now. I've gone down to just one turret on the right-hand side. So his button is on his right, facing that way. So if I have it on my right, so I'm going to shoot him in his left shoulder. That should mean that old mate Demo Boy out here, wherever I spawned him, is that on the correct side? It is. So it's going to shoot him on the opposite side of his body, the direct opposite side of his body from where the button is. Hopefully that works a little bit better. Let's get him coming in. I mean, yeah, I don't know. There's all different ways you can make a demolisher-proof base. Now, admittedly, if you could make this super safe and only go the easy ways, there we go, he's now in there. So get him going like that. I've also aimed that turret up at the sky a bit more, so it hopefully will only shoot the tops of the heads. But I mean, since we've got pretty okay so far, he's getting jangled, he's on that right-hand side, and he's dead. Okay, that worked out pretty well, I think. Let's get another demolisher out there. I've also changed the timing of all that to just be 30 seconds to try and limit the amount of wasted ammo. You can see he's not really shooting at the zombies when they're nice and close until that demolisher shows up. He's now back, so let's get that going again. If I can kill this guy without any other issues. Ooh, all the lights just turned off though, and electric fences are off. Why did that happen? So can a tripwire not get re-triggered until it's completely gone? You need to stop breaking my shit, please. Is the demolisher going back around? I can't. Oh, no, he's not. No, dude. Yeah, okay. Well, I've broken all my hay fences. Oh, g'day, mate. And that's making some issues for me. Interesting. I just want to see, though. So it turns out that you can't re-trigger tripwires. That's an interesting point to note, which means getting your timing down right is all the more important. But he should come back up here, re-trigger it all. There we go. And get riddled once again. Okay, I'm not sure what my favorite way of making this demolisher proof actually is though. I feel like the passive way is the safest, so without having the turret and without having the blade traps, but it means that it's more reliant on you to actively kill him, which you might run into some trouble if you accidentally shoot his button. But see that? He got ragdolled, he got back up again, and no turret shot him in the nipple, and he didn't explode. So that's probably the best way to do it, I think, having the turret on the right-hand side away from the button. So there you go, guys. Definitely an upgrade on our relatively failed attempt to make a demolisher-proof base. I would say this one is demolisher-proof. There's several different ways you can do it. Pick the best one that you want to do, whichever way you think is going to be best. But you can make that as demolisher-proof as you like. But the more you kind of try and kill them quickly, the more risk you're going to get. If you lower all the risk and just take your time to kill them, you'll have no risk at all, and you will be A-okay. So that is the demolisher-proof, zombie-proof base. It actually worked out very well in the end. I'm pretty happy with it. So I'll have to come back and build some more stuff in another episode because this episode is done. So thank you guys for watching. Most of all, thank you to the patrons of Patreon who made this episode possible. If y'all liked it, make sure you hit the like button down below, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter. If I don't talk to you there first, I'll see you in the next episode. Have a good one.